Well, water, I mean, makes sense, right? You have a pollinated seed, but since you're a baby out there, you try to plant a bean or whatever, and just like start putting water and see if it starts growing. So this is another abstraction level. Instead of like, okay, now we increase the entropy of our meeting process, we're just saying we are irrigating this seed. So this original seed that has the genetic material, in other words, these unique parameters that every hub has individually. Now that they have it, they need more connections in order to make this plant grow. You have a seed, then you have a little sprout, then it grows into a bush, and at some point, it gets into a tree. So fine, and let's say that you're like getting our plant irrigated, our seed irrigated, you have a sprout, it's growing, more hubs are connecting, making this more secure, more efficient, until the point that I have enough hubs to complete my meeting process. This is a cycle. So to close this cycle, I need to connect enough hubs, which is also interesting because if you think about this Amazon rainforest area, these communities, the indigenous tribes that live there, they have such a feeling of a group, over the individual thing. And so far, when you see any other blockchain process, usually it's a long, lonely process. You buy your equipment, your GPU, your ASIC chip, and you just need to buy it yourself and leave it there. It's a lonely process. It's just you and yourself. You don't care about anyone. But would be also interesting if this process could reflect the philosophy that this native people there, they respect nature, they lived in perfect harmony for so many centuries. It's interesting to create this concept of community meeting, because now you need other people inside the ecosystem. So you don't know him, he doesn't know her, but your hubs need to work together to make this seed grow. And that's the beauty of it, because now I'm also reflecting the nature. And when every single one of us is learning about this process, not in the complicated mathematical way, but in this intuitive way, you start to create a better connection, not only with the nature, but with the technology itself you get more familiar with, and of course, you get more motivated to understand a bit more. So, when we have this irrigation complete, it makes sense that we have a complete tree and it's time to bloom, because that's when the cycle ends. Just like in the nature, the cycle of plant life, the cycle of your meeting process should end up with the fruit, and in this case, would be your TCT or Tupan community tokens. So of course, we have some very special treatment for the parents, which means the original hubs that provided the genetic material. So they get like a double shares of the minted amount of tokens. And the other irrigation hubs that also helped to make this process more efficient, more secure, they also get the normal number of shares. Of course, when this process is complete, it means that the connection is done, it accomplished its purpose. And now it's time for your hub to search for new hubs and start the cycle over again. And of course, maybe your hub is just like irrigating this process of the seed, but in the next seed, it can be that he's the first one to connect to the other. It means that you become a pollinator. And then, for the first time, your hub will be the parent of a seed. We could just finish the meeting process in this step, but here's the deal. As I told you in the beginning, the whole blockchain industry, the blockchain market, is full of empty projects. Everyone's just like creating random NFTs and hoping to get some money out of it. But you have a beautiful story here. And this beautiful story is about nature. It's about the protection of nature. It's about the future, of our sons and daughters, grandchildren. And this was reflected in a state-of-the-art mathematical and cryptographical procedure. So it makes sense to leave this legacy as printed history somewhere. And of course, since the blockchain is a huge history book, why not take this original seed that allowed us to perform the whole meeting process and create a new NFT out of this? But it's nothing NFT. It's not just like some weird monkey drawing. No, this has a whole history behind it. It has real people that work together with a huge community gathering around a single seed. And the single seed was the first ever dynamic NFT in the Tzadik blockchain. And with this, in the future, when this graphical interface is completed in the next stages, you'll be able to see how this tree originated, which characters it has, because of course, it has unique characters from the parents, and this will result in different leaves, color, size, type of fruit. This will be interesting. But best of all is the idea, and that you know that the process that generated this was a state-of-the-art masterpiece of mathematics and engineering. And of course, so much development talent invested on this. And of course, everything this results in a chance to fight back, because for the first time, we are using the protection of the environment as an investment, and we can fight like with the same power as the same ambition that was detonating the environment. So with the help of every single one of you, we can make a difference, not only in our pockets, but for the pockets and for the health of our children and your future generations. Thank you.